All right. So for this next topic, we are going to get into Raven-Symoné. We all remember watching That's a Raven. If you watch That's a Raven, let me know in the comments because I was definitely a That's a Raven girly. But as she's grown up and as I've grown up, started to see that she started to go down a different road, started to struggle with things, and obviously is in the life decisions that she has right now with being married to a woman and I would say looking more masculine. So, but I came across this story and I was like, wow, I feel like this explains a lot. And I feel like there's definitely more to her that she hasn't shared. But I felt like the story had to be told because I was like, wow, that's so terrible. Like, I'm so sorry that she had to go through that. But let's get into it.
And reveals it was all encouraged by her father.
My dad suggested strongly that I should get my breast reduced. He was like, so you don't feel bad? Is there anything you want? And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, if I get lipo, will people stop calling me fat? And so I got a twofer.
2 for 1. So the lipo was free.
That's crazy.
In my head, that's how it was presented. And
that's wild. Like you're a teenager. You're a teenager. You're like not only are you a teenager, but like me talking to like her daddy. Like you're her dad. You're her dad. You're supposed to be there to protect her and to cover her. And you're encouraging her to get a breast reduction and get lipo as a teenager. Like my father would never. He would never. Like I remember being like probably like in high school, whatever, or middle school, and just like I want to know his job. I'm like, okay, no, shut down. Next topic. Like it's just not even a thing. So it's just so heartbreaking. And I'm not a mom yet. But just for the things I already prayed for my future children and the things I'm already just going to the Lord for about my future children, I cannot even imagine talking to my kids and being like, oh, you should get plastic surgery for whatever reason. Like, no. Like if your child's overweight, that's on you as a parent to make sure your child's not overweight and to feed them healthy food, to make sure that they're active. And then in terms of other plastic surgery, like you teach your children to love themselves. Like of course in the case of like a breast reduction, I think as an adult and if that's something like you are dealing with back pain about and you're just over the back pain, you're over it, like do you like that, do you whatever. But as a teenager and you're encouraging like this, like she said, it was presented to her to be a 2-for-1, like you get to have lipo and then you get to have smaller boobs. Like I just think that's irresponsible as a parent to encourage that for your teenage daughter.
And it was just like a mess. It was just a mess, just being that young and the pain of it all, honey.
And that pain Raven went through quickly turned into a nightmare.
That first one that I actually had a seizure when I like woke up from the surgery. And I remember waking up and seeing everything and I was like, nah. And then I just started to have this dry mouth and couldn't breathe. And then I went back under and they were like, oh yeah, you had a seizure. I was like, thanks for telling me.
Growing up in...
That's crazy. It's wild. And I'm not a medical professional. I don't know how often that happens. I do not deal with anesthesia or surgery or anything like that. But as someone that's woken up in surgery, and mine was like not as intense as like a breast reduction and not as intense as a liposuction or anything like that. Mine was just like with my wisdom teeth, and me waking up in the middle of that was like traumatizing. So I can only imagine how traumatizing that is as a teenager, being like, oh, you had a seizure in the middle of your pretty intense surgery. So yeah, I'm sure that was just something traumatizing, and I'm sure that she probably didn't get the care that she needed, like mental care that she needed to be from the whole experience.
The world, let alone in the industry of entertainment and smoke and mirrors, definitely affected the way that I looked at myself and the way that I presented myself on an everyday basis in order to perpetuate a brand that I was told was the right brand to sell.
Yeah, Raven's no stranger to being in the spotlight.
This really isn't my game. My game is football.
Paprika.
You said what you told them. I had no way to prove anything else outside of my life other than what I was saying to you in an interview. And now that everybody has a camera and that everybody wants to be known and publicized, now it's free game for everybody.
Well, fast forward to 2023, Raven's been dropping some bombshells on podcasts, including how she kept her private life private all these years.
When I started dating, I had to get people to sign
NDA.
NDAs. It's just very impersonal, but someone in our position needs to do that.
Yeah, and as far as why she's sharing her surgery secrets now,
I don't know, maybe because it's a safe space.
You are safe with me.
Some days I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tell them what I did today. I just start going through all of my personal don't do it programming, and I just don't want to. It's not your information to have. That's mine.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's Raven-Symoné. That's her story, or a little piece of it, and it's just very heartbreaking to know that's what she was encouraged to do at such a young age. And there was another article about pretty much her father and other adults around her encouraged her to do the surgeries like that in order for her to get more roles in the, of course, Hollywood sphere. And I just think it's sad because it's like she didn't have a childhood, as a lot of these child actors don't really have, and that's why you end up seeing them go off the deep end and go off and do these crazy eccentric kind of things. And it's just sad and heartbreaking, and I truly do just like pray for her healing, and I pray that you guys pray with me that she does heal from these things, and in the way with Jesus Christ, because that's Jesus, the ultimate and true healer. And I pray that she truly does come to know the Lord and gives all of the things that she hasn't told us and she hasn't told the world. She probably hasn't even told the person that she's with. I pray that she just comes to and is led to give all of that to the Lord, and pray that the parents and the adults that allowed all these things to happen and not care for her, I pray that they're led to repentance 100%. Okay, so my point is, not fulfilling your responsibilities can lead to negative impacts on a person's life. Because her father did not carry the responsibility of being a father and caring for her in a way that a daughter would need from a father, now she's left with this trauma and these decisions, and making these decisions that she has to deal with. Then yeah, so it's so important, like, we are responsible human beings, because, like, going back to the first topic, our decisions affect other people. That's why we need to be considerate, and especially as parents. Like, like I said, I'm not a parent yet, but I cannot even imagine, like, doing that to my children. So no. And this also leads me to 1 Peter 5:10. Says, the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself restore, establish, strengthen, and support you after you have suffered a little while. And I think that one's just for Raven, and for anyone who has endured trauma, that there is hope in God. There is hope, and there is eternal glory in Jesus Christ. And he himself will restore you, establish, strengthen you, and support you after your suffering. And he is your comfort, and he wants to be involved in your life and to restore you. So I strongly encourage you to just go to the Lord and give it all. Just lay it all at his feet. And my question to you is, not fulfilling your responsibilities. Oop, no, that's not the one. Haha. The question is, what areas in your life do you need to allow God in to restore and heal you? That's for everyone. everyone has some level of hurt or pains or something they've dealt with in their lives that I've dealt with in my life as well. And I think answering this question for yourself and taking this question to the Lord, if you really can't think of anything, like allow the Lord to show you what areas you need his restoration and you need his healing. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts and we will get into the next topic. All right. So before we get into this next topic, if you guys haven't already, definitely check out us on Substack. We are the Art of Practical Religion on there. And pretty much Substack is where we can connect with you. You guys can connect with us. And it's more, I would say personal, maybe, is that's the word. It's just more in depth of the topics that we go through here on YouTube. And we have all of the shows that are part of the practical religion of quality entertainment on here. And as you can see, these are all different articles, different newsletters that we have going on here. And yeah, and then we also have like a notes section, which is similar to Threads, similar to Threads, similar to X or Twitter. And pretty much here we just kind of post any little short thoughts, short snippets of things that we come across and things like that. And we have the show that we have the weekly tea with me, my husband, and Miracle. And so we have that. We have prof tips with my husband's thoughts. He is so inquisitive and just super wise. So this is a good little spot to hang out at as well. We have the Conscious Outlet, where they have the intersection of faith in the media, and they have some really good stuff over here as well. And then of course we have Faith and Beyond, which is my show, and we have my most recent podcast episode on here as well. And we have just different articles, different things to just keep you encouraged throughout the week. My goal is to have Christian encouragement straight to your inbox every Wednesday. That way you get your little midweek burst of what you need. And yeah, that's what we have going on the Substack. Definitely check us out if you are wanting Christian encouragement straight to your inbox. Okay, let's continue.